You've heard some of it, I'm sure. That I froze, or broke, or some other lie that is kinder than the truth. We were ambushed by cultists, yes. And then I heard her, their false god, whispering promises in my mind. I would be a paladin again, with a god's purpose, a god's power. Everything I needed to protect my people. And all the while, the cult tortured them. They fought and ran and died around me, while I imagined myself their savior. By the time I regained my senses, it was too late. I did not just surrender to the Absolute. For a moment, I welcomed it. It would be nice to think so, but whatever these monsters twist us into, I believe it begins in us. I won't make excuses. I can't make amends. But I know something of what you came to do. I want to help, if you'll let me. Ketherick is below. He thinks you're no longer a menace. Descend and show him how wrong he is. If there are any more survivors to be found, I'll find them and lead them out of this place. And you, my friend, and pathetic, inadequate as it is, thank you.
That'll have to do.
A couple of those flayers were comrades of mine. I'd have been trying to suck your brains out along with them, if you'd arrived any later.
What a stench. I'm beginning to think I should have stayed in that pod. In there it only smelled like me. Is there any news about Duke Ravengard? Did he get out alive? No. Tell by your expression. Gonna have to fall on my sword, aren't I?
Brine pools, but empty of tadpoles. Unusual. Harvesting all the larvae indicates they are getting ready for something big.
That pod. Is that Mizora inside?
Mizora? You're Zariel's asset.
My dumb little stinker. Took you long enough. Now, by Grazit's cock, get me out of this thing!
I'll do it, and you'll set me free. That was the deal.
Yeah. So, get to it already.
The controls are open to your tadpole's command, to your authority. symbol's meaning comes into focus. Annihilate. You recognize the marking from the nautiloid. An illithid symbol meaning unleash.
You did all right, Will. I'd give your belly a good rub, but never could stand the smell.
You're free, Missoura. I held up my end. Now you hold up yours. Sever the pact.
Clause Z, Section 13. If the Soulbinder consents to separation, she will release the Soulbearer from all obligation within 6 months.
6 months? Gods damn you!
Ignorant thing. It's always the terms and conditions that get you. Not going to happen, but I do like your spunk. Now, you've got business in the towers to take care of. Don't you fret. I'll find you soon enough. You're going to need me. Count on it. Oh, and go ahead. Tell your chums how we met. It's a real cracker of a tale. Ta-ta.
Zariel's asset was none other than Missoura herself. Of course. Tricks on top of tricks on top of tricks. But I've only got 6 months before I'm made a free man. Thanks be to the Triad. No, scratch that. Thanks be to you. First, we killed Ketheric Thorm. Then, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Anything more we should discuss?
No tadpoles in this brine pool.
No time to dally.
There's a parasite nearby. You should take a closer look.
A long way to go still.
An empty brine pool. But then where are the tadpoles?
Blade at the ready.
The only thing worse than a pool for tadpoles is an empty pool for tadpoles.
General Thorm was attacked. The order to evacuate given. You should not be here. I conclude you are one of the attackers. I have no need for a throne. You would merely get in the way. Go on, make yourself useful somewhere. If you cannot manage that, just stay out of the way. Gather yourselves! Soon, we march to victory!
Prepare the march. My chosen gather below.
May death claim you.
Sort of fight.
Need to keep out of sight.
Not even the worms will reach your carcass once I'm done with you!
Step to it. One day I'll catch a break. Battle favors the fearless.
Descend, faithful. We to the heart. moment comes, the absolute knows. No, thine. Baldur's Gate will know my design. Our design.
They won't be laughing much longer. Won't be any more of this. No gnomes in the city, watch, Brevin. This Gortash fella's got an idea. Kind of a training camp. Don't know how it gets me into the watch, but he seems the smart sort.
Descend, assemble. Liberate, evacuate.
A whole fleet of nautiloids. How many true souls have passed through this place? Seems like a good moment to talk.
Descend, assemble. Obey. Evacuate.
Is anyone else's tadpole squirming around more than usual?
It's almost like it's excited by something, drawn to it.
No longer a background murmur. The presence in your mind builds to a roar.
We've found it. The Absolute is behind this door.
Not entirely sure that was a wise decision. Better the devil you know, I suppose. The one Will knows, at least.
You'd think I'd have more sympathy for someone trapped in a pod, but perhaps we should have left Missoura where we found her. You wanted something?
No longer a back.
We found it. The absolute.
You said it was under control.
It isn't you I answer to, Gortash.
Oh, the general voice. Is this where we salute?
Salute, yes. With cleavers through his blood-starved flesh. How it crawls with failure, like flies on lick-wet carrion.
You forget yourself, Orin. I have played my part.
You've built an army for our masters, true enough. But what of the astral prison? A rogue true soul flaunting it under your nose all this time, and you ran from him.
Sure that they would follow and deliver it into my hands here. If you would cease these distractions.
The distractions have been yours, Ketherick. Perhaps we never should have dug your daughter up. So you haven't lost your edge. But you're still not as sharp as Orin, I wager. The Slayer against the Undying One. That'd be fun to see.
His crypt breath sings to my sinews. Again, again. But he must lead the murder march to Baldur's grave.
If the weapon is truly in your grasp, Ketherick, might I suggest closing your fist? Orin and I can wait for you no longer. The plan proceeds. We're going to the city, and we expect you to follow. Army and the weapon in tow.
The Edict of Bane!
The Lash of Baldur!
Testament of Merkel!
An elder brain. One of the cruelest and most powerful creatures in existence. Enslaved by mere mortals.
Look at that crown. It radiates with power unlike anything I've ever seen. To have it. To hold. Oh, if only I could. But I can't. This is it. I must do as Mystra commands. What choice do I have? More than just a goddess counseled my courage. Whole worlds hang in the balance. I do trust you. More than myself right now. Perhaps even more than Mystra. I have no desire to end your life, you know that. To end it? To struggle on. It is a grave choice you're making for us both. But if it must be so, very well. I'll stand down to stand by you.
There we are. It wouldn't do to fight in front of our guest. Behold, Duke Ravengard, the Absolute.
Whom preserve us?
You wag your word flap in vain, Alderling. Once the worm holds the whip, your shredded flesh will serve us.
Shit, no! Father!
Now, it's really time we were going. We will empty this place and begin the march. You may catch up with the army once you've retrieved the weapon. And Ketheric, do try not to sulk. You're supposed to be the fearsome general come to conquer the city. And I am the hero who will save it.
It is time, faithful ones. March on Baldur's Gate. We go to prepare the way.
What is it, I wonder, that draws one toward death like a moth to light? You could have run away, absconded with the prism. The one thing that could prevent me from fulfilling my destiny. But the lure of one's destiny is irresistible, isn't it? Perhaps you hope to learn your place in history before you are erased from it. A bright flash of clarity before the snuffing out. The very fact of your being attests to its power. Despite your infection, you resisted the brain here in the heart of its domain. What good is an army of thralls if they do not obey their master? Let us speak plainly. My Lord Merkel gave me the one thing I desired, the one thing no other god could grant me. My daughter's life returned. Her heart beating once more. For that, he asked that I serve as his chosen. Join Orin and Gortash to grow the cult of the Absolute, and then take control of it. He's never had a more devoted follower. I have fought great wars before, in the service of other gods and other powers. But for Merkel, I would condemn all of Faerun to death. You are all that stands between me and my destiny. And you have brought the prism here. I will kill you now. And then I will raise you as my servant.